Survival Mode Episode 6 is a gripping, emotional, and ultimately uplifting story of real-life survival against impossible odds. While the show's roots are in video game horde modes, this episode takes the concept to the streets of Texas, where a deadly winter storm triggers a mile-long pileup, trapping dozens of people in a fight for their lives. The episode opens with tense music and a chilling scene, cars flying, metal crunching, and a chain reaction that smashes more than 130 vehicles on an ice-covered expressway. The camera pans across the carnage, headlights spinning 180 degrees, and drivers realizing in an instant that their brakes aren't working, and they have no control over their vehicles. The story quickly zooms in on Destiny and her family, who wake up to a normal morning, unaware that their lives are about to change forever. Destiny is a careful driver, proud of her independence and her new car, and she's on her way to work at Old Navy. Her husband walks her to the car, making sure she's safe, and goes back to sleep. Meanwhile, Danielle, a nurse, is getting ready for work, thinking about her upcoming IVF appointment and the hope of starting a family. She listens to true crime podcasts to calm her nerves, not knowing that she'll soon be living her own survival story. As the winter storm intensifies, the roads become treacherous. Brine trucks are out, but the ice is relentless. Destiny's family hasn't heard from her, but they trust her driving skills and assume she's made it to work. Danielle, driving to her hospital shift, is focused on the future, hoping that tomorrow's IVF appointment will finally bring the family she's dreamed of. But as she heads down the expressway, she hits a patch of ice, loses control, and finds herself in the middle of the pileup. The episode masterfully weaves together the perspectives of Destiny, Danielle, paramedics, and other survivors. Cars are spinning, semi-trucks are barreling down the hill, and drivers are forced to make split-second decisions to avoid disaster. Danielle tries to slow down, but her brakes fail, and she scrapes along the concrete barrier, hoping to reduce her speed. She barely taps the car in front of her, only to look up and see a semi-truck heading straight for her. The impact is brutal, launching her vehicle across lanes and trapping her arm in the door. She's stuck, freezing and terrified, but her training as a nurse kicks in. She tests her hand, worries about frostbite, and starts screaming for help, refusing to give up. Paramedics and firefighters arrive on the scene, overwhelmed by the scale of the disaster. The smell of diesel and gasoline fills the air, and screams echo across the wreckage. First responders dig through cars, searching for survivors, and find Danielle slumped over, unconscious but breathing. They know she has internal injuries and race against time to extricate her before hypothermia sets in. Blankets are thrown over her, and she's rushed to the hospital, her fate uncertain. Destiny's family is frantic, calling her phone and waiting for news. When the nurse finally calls, Destiny's husband's heart drops. He rushes to the hospital, beating the ambulance despite the icy roads. The waiting room is filled with news footage of the wreck, and Destiny's car is visible in the helicopter shots, wrapped around an 18-wheeler. The family is devastated, fearing the worst, but relieved when Destiny finally opens her eyes after 2 weeks in a coma. The emotional reunion is raw and powerful, with hugs, tears, and gratitude for the paramedics and doctors who saved her life. Danielle's journey is equally harrowing. She's trapped in her car, her arm caught in the door, and her mind racing with thoughts of her IVF appointment and her dream of becoming a mother. She refuses medical attention at first, desperate to be with her family, but eventually realizes the severity of her injuries. A nerve injury threatens her plans, but her fertility doctor encourages her to keep going. The next day, she's sore and terrified, but determined to make it to her appointment. Her resilience and hope are inspiring, and she credits her survival to her training, her family, and her faith. The episode doesn't shy away from the psychological trauma of survival. Danielle and Destiny both struggle with the aftermath, questioning why they survived when others didn't. The wreckage is a constant reminder of the fragility of life, and the survivors grapple with guilt, gratitude, and the challenge of moving forward. Therapy, family support, and a renewed sense of purpose help them heal, and they find strength in sharing their stories with others. The ending of Survival Mode Episode 6 is both heartbreaking and hopeful. Destiny's family is blessed with twin boys after her recovery, and Danielle gives birth to a healthy son, Hayes, 9 months after the accident. The scars, physical and emotional, remain, but the families are stronger, closer, and more grateful than ever. The episode closes with scenes of children playing, chickens clucking, and families embracing the future, never taking a single day for granted. Survival Mode Episode 6 is a powerful reminder that survival isn't just about brute strength or luck. It's about resilience, hope, and the will to keep fighting when everything seems lost. The episode blends real-life drama with the intensity of a horde mode video game, showing that the greatest victories are often won off the battlefield, in the quiet moments of recovery and reunion. If you haven't watched Survival Mode Episode 6 yet, now is the perfect time to catch up. The episode is packed with suspense, emotion, and unforgettable moments that will stay with you long after the credits roll. The journey from chaos to healing is both gripping and inspiring, making this one of the most memorable episodes of the season.